What's up, everybody? Excuse me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Crafters Live. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with another live stream where we get together as a community and talk about whatever topic I've concocted for the week. And this week is no exception. So once again, apologies for the lateness. I bet you can guess what I did today, like 2 hours before the stream. I updated my Geeks configuration, and some things broke. But luckily, I was able to deal with the problem. And we're here now. So if anything weird happens during the stream, you'll know that it's because I happened to update my system configuration and did not test the machine at all before the stream. That's okay though. I mean, that's just part of life. In the sphere of system crafting, you just take some gambles because you want to make sure you're on the latest version of the Linux kernel that you have available to you, which is totally a terrible idea. But you know, we're just doing what we can here, just to keep you entertained. I'm trying to entertain you with my suffering from all the things I'm telling you to do, and then you see me do them poorly. So maybe it helps you feel better. I don't know. Maybe you feel better seeing me struggle with my computer every time we have to stream. Who knows? I should be a little bit more responsible with this, though. Soon I'll have a separate machine like that's completely dedicated to streaming, and I won't touch it. I'll just leave it alone, and we won't have this problem again, hopefully. So hello to Christian, Datamonoid, Arnaud, Pablo. On the IRC side, I see Fade, Cow, Alternate Ved. Hey folks, nice to see you. Alternate Ved says, so that's why you use Geeks. Yes, to cause myself suffering, because, you know, I feel like I don't have enough suffering in my life, so I just use the most complicated and difficult to configure tools possible just to give myself something to do, because clearly I have nothing to do with my time, except for just, you know, play around. Yes, thanks, Alternate Ved. The chat overlay has not been started. Let's see, live crafter start chat. Let's do that. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but someone in the neighborhood decided that now is a great time to start playing music really loudly. Cal says, is there a misery mode? Yes, it's called using unconfigured Emacs. Okay, so the chat should be loaded now. Let me go over here and refresh the widget. All right, somebody in IRC, say something. Fade says the masochistic system crafter, there's a book in there, maybe. Okay, Cal has verified for us that it works. Thank you, Cal. I appreciate your help. And Alternate Ved. Pablo says, entertain us, said Kurt. Yes, exactly like that. Smells like Scheme Spirit. Hello to Chris. Okay. So, wow. Did I just totally destroy the slide? No, that's cool. It's fine. Cool, let's get started. So today, man, I'm forgetting my key bindings already. I wanted to point out that I set up this new System Crafter store maybe 4 months ago, I think, around the time that I started to do the courses, the God Beginners course. If you see me getting confused all of a sudden, it's because I don't hear the music anymore, so I'm confused like what's happening with the computer. Maybe something else broken. But the whole time I had planned to put some other stuff on the store aside from just the courses. Like I had some merch that I was working on, this hat here being one of the things. Some other things you'll see in a second. And then also to sort of migrate over what I currently do for kind of like sponsors or Patreon or monthly support. So I've finally just went on ahead and set all that stuff up on the site. I was kind of like waiting to get everything perfect, and my perfectionism was just causing me to procrastinate and never get it done, because there's always, many other things I would prefer to be doing than just setting up items on a store page. So if you go over to systemcrafters.store, you'll see that the scheme course is still there because that's starting tomorrow. But we have listings now for some basic System Crafters merch, including the hat that I'm wearing. There's like multiple colors for all these. If you are interested in different colors, especially if you want like a pink or a light blue hat or something, if you want to just be different. Like a cool beanie, I suggest checking out this neon green one because it seems kind of cool. I don't know. I might wear that in the winter. Who knows? It's almost blinding my eyes at the moment. Go back. So it's just some cool stuff. I mean, this other hat that you see here is this one. It's kind of like a lighter blue, kind of has like a jean thing going for it. So I don't know, it's some cool stuff. I want to add more to this. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. There's, a lot of opportunities to add some cool shirts. Maybe, I like the stuff that has the white logo on it like this. I'll probably end up making a shirt that has the white logo on the chest up here. So just like a logo with no text. There's various different things we can do. There's a little water bottle here, which, I've bought it and I've been drinking from it, and, it's good quality. It's just, I don't really like the way that you drink the water from it. I don't know if you've used a Camelback before, but, yeah, maybe it works for some people. Alter Vet says, from where would it ship? It ships, from the overall continent that you're in. For the most part, like people in North America will get it from somewhere in North America. People in Europe will get it from somewhere in Central Europe. And then in Australia and Asia, I think there's like a shared distribution for that. So it's pretty much available anywhere as far as I know. So you can get the stuff there. I'm gonna add more things to this when I come up with more designs. And I've actually got some really cool things in mind I just haven't gotten to yet. Things that are sort of out of my scope as a graphic designer. I'm gonna have to pay someone to create the things that I want to make, but hopefully within the next few months, you're going to see some cool stuff that will be more than just a System Crafters logo. It will be more like illustrations and kind of themes and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. But for now, this is what we have for the merch side of things. Then there's also the System Crafters Guild. I don't know if any of you have sort of seen this website that I have, guild.systemcrafters.net. This is where I've been hosting the course stuff so far. It's kind of my own custom thing, but this is meant to be the sort of the home for both courses and also for people who are showing, support monthly through this membership program, which is basically like Patreon or GitHub sponsors or LibrePay, but this is something that is sort of mine. Like I'm using a platform for this, but it's sort of more integrated into what I do. I have a bit more control over things, so I kind of prefer it. And there's 3 tiers for that. And right now, a lot of the stuff isn't really implemented, like name on the supporter screen. That's something I'll be showing on the streams fairly soon. Also, live stream chat benefits. Like as you see people's names up in the corner here on the screen, those names may become, more interesting looking based on whether you're a member or not. I don't know. Like there's fun stuff that I want to try to do. Who knows what will happen in the near future if I have time to work on it. But this is just a way to support the channel if you want to support on a monthly basis, and then maybe get some cool stuff in the meantime. You'll get like a special profile icon on on the System Crafters forum. You'll get a little System Crafters icon on your profile image, so you'll be shown as a member. You can also turn that off if you want to. And then there's also a members only forum area that has nothing in it right now, but that's a place where I hope to have discussions with people who join, just about like behind the scenes stuff, things I have in mind that I want to work on, and maybe some more meta stuff, like if people who want to ask questions about sort of System Crafters in general, sort of how I make content, how I come up with ideas for videos, maybe you have suggestions you want to make. Maybe I'll talk about things that I'm planning to get feedback, things like that. So it would be kind of a cool place to do some behind the scenes stuff. But anyway, this is not necessary. You don't have to do this. I'm just putting it up there. I want to say thanks to Mike, who's in the chat right now, who sort of prodded me a little bit about this yesterday and reminded me that I need to finish setting this up. So thanks, Mike, for reminding me to get that done. So this is up now. It will improve in the future. I'm also very interested to hear people's feedback about what the quote unquote perks are. I mean, what I've typically seen with the sponsorship platform so far is that people will just, become a supporter and they don't really care about what the perks are. I would say like 99.99% of people have never cared what the perks are. So maybe it doesn't matter that much, but if you have some thoughts that are kind of interesting, please let me know because I'd be certainly interested to hear them. So that's that. So let me know what you think about the store page in general, if you've got any feedback on that, and I'll be happy to hear it. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. I can kind of integrate it into my little system and automate setting things up on the forum. So it's pretty cool. In other news, the Geeks project is looking for contributors to infrastructure projects. So if I pull this up, it is a mailing list post, I think by Ludovic, if it decides to load. Yes, list.gnu.org. It doesn't seem to be loading today. Is that what's happening right now? Let's see. Chris says, probably not linkable with LibrePay, so maybe I should switch from Libre to the Guild if you want to. If you are currently a sponsor on any of the other platforms, let me know and I'll set you up. But I might shut down GitHub sponsors and Patreon at some point. LibrePay I'll probably leave up because it's a more sort of free and open source software friendly option. But the others I might take down. I'm not exactly sure about that just yet. Come on. Can you load? Can you not load? What's happening? Do other sites load? Yes, other sites load. So maybe just the GNU servers. Alternate Vet says, Embark can open links. Well, yes. I mean, I should be able to click on the link, but I've got things set up in a wonky way right now where they don't actually go to Firefox. So that's kind of an issue in my own config at the moment. That's why you see me try to copy and paste links. Otherwise, I would just use Control-C, Control-O, and it would open the browser. So a little more crafting work for me to do. Hello to Alice, CMac, DSlackW in the chat. I'm calling you Alice AWTH because that's the name that's on your GitHub profile. So my apologies if that's not the right name. Hey Peter, I admire your willingness to go and run for 20 minutes before the stream starts. My stamina would not handle that, so I would be probably dead right now. Okay, good. Glad to confirm that your name is Alice. Okay, so not loading. Anyway, this page, if you were to click on this link from the show notes later at some point when the site's back up, it basically lists a number of infrastructure related tasks in the Geeks project that the maintainers want help with. And basically asking for you to jump in if you have interest or experience in the various different areas. I think it's like server management, maybe some website development, some CI or continuous integration work, a lot of things like that. Actually, some pretty cool projects that are critical to the overall Geeks community. So I highly recommend taking a look at the post whenever that site is back up so that you can maybe see if you want to contribute. Because, we all love Geeks here, and we want to make sure that the project is healthy and thrives. So it's going to be a good thing to get more people on board there to help out. I wish I could show it to you. It's not happening today. Also, for the people who signed up for the Hands-On Guile Scheme for Beginners course, that's starting tomorrow morning. So I'm going to deliver the first chapter of material, and then that begins like the 2 weeks where we discuss the first chapter, which is the fundamentals of Scheme. If you've never used Scheme before, basically we just go through kind of like what the syntax and the evaluation rules are for Scheme. And I'm trying to present it in a very kind of methodical and bottom-up way so that you can really understand each element of what you see in the code before we start moving on to do the more advanced, well, not advanced, but to the more kind of meaty stuff, let's say, like functional programming, which comes in chapter 2. So this first chapter will be pretty fun, I think, for anybody who hasn't done Scheme before, whether you're an experienced programmer or not. So I'm interested to see what people think about it whenever they go through. So that starts tomorrow, and then the first live meeting is the following Sunday. So if I were to pull up calendar here, that's going to be on the 16th. There will be a live Q&A session on the 16th to talk about what we've done so far and answer questions for the exercises that are in chapter 1. If you haven't you haven't signed up yet and you want to sign up, go ahead and jump on that. You can go to systemconference.store and the entry is here. The registration closes tomorrow morning whenever I make the course live, so you'll want to make sure to be done if you are joining. We've got quite a number of people this time, which is great. I'm really happy to see how many people wanted to join up again. I wasn't sure if we were on kind of a glide down in interest, but things have bounced back, which is good. Very happy about that. All right, let's move on to the topic for the day. So I've been thinking a lot this week about Denote and crafting a really effective workflow for note-taking, project planning, etc. with Denote and with the way that it works. The way that I've been using Denote for, I don't know, I think that my first note in Denote was in 2022. So I've been using it almost 2 years now, probably 2 years in June or July. The way that I've been using it has not really changed very much. Most of what I do is just create notes here and there with whatever I'm thinking about at the moment. I treat it almost like a journal in a way, where I just create an entry and just type a bunch of stuff I'm thinking out. Maybe I'll create some to-do items, but I don't really link between notes very much. I don't really have a structure. So I've been thinking about how to change that recently, and I'm taking some inspiration from the ideas of Zettelkasten. Is that right? If we don't have Gunn here to check me. I don't know where Gunn is today, but he would definitely be checking me. I don't know if Christian's still here. He could probably check me. Ashraz is not here. I guess people are on vacation right now. It's summertime. Nobody wants to listen to Emacs chat. So all of my usual pronunciation checkers are slacking today, which is fine. So I'm just going to call it Zettelkasten today, because nobody's going to stop me. Nobody? Okay, just kidding. So anyway, I'm taking inspiration from Zettelkasten in that you're trying to create kind of a network of notes, but I want to do it in a way. Chris is here. The Z is more like TS. I'm trying to say it like that. Zettelkasten, right? So I'm trying to take more of an approach like that, where I have links between notes, and I try to keep each note as focused on one topic as possible. I don't really have a good explanation of the whole model just yet, because I'm working on the full. I don't want to call it a system, because it's not really a system. It's just sort of like a workflow. Let's call it. I'm actually going to make videos about this probably the week after next. I'm going to be gone most of next week, out of town, so I won't be able to record anything. But I'm going to be working on it, and the following week, I will probably have a video out about this. So the idea is that there's this kind of a structure with tags and with linking between notes. Basically, you'll have like a set of topic notes, which are kind of like the hubs for all of the individual notes you make that are supposed to be very small and focused on a particular idea, let's say, or a particular piece of information. And then you link those into your topic notes so that you have kind of like an index of notes to look into. However, there is some interesting stuff that Denote can do, which we'll talk about in a bit, where you can very easily pull in listings of all the notes that conform to some criteria, and then have it automatically update those lists inside of your topic notes, so that you can easily go see a listing of all the notes related to a particular topic. So some of the things we're going to work on today are writing custom functions that makes it easier to manage this type of workflow, because I haven't had a chance to write them myself yet. We'll be using some functions that come with Denote. There's some extension functions that come with the package that probably you haven't seen before, because I didn't see them until I started looking for them. And then we'll wrap them with our own functionality to sort of put this workflow together. So let me answer some questions here. So I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Jhoch, Jock. It's okay, Zettelkasten. Thank you. Zettelkasten? Is that right? Alice says, is org roam out of style now? I haven't been monitoring the things going on for a while. I wouldn't say it's out of style. Plenty of people still use org roam. I stopped using it because I like the way that Denote, I like the thought process behind Denote. Julian. Thank you, Julian. I like the thought process behind Denote better than org roam, and I also like the fact that Denote does not require a database. Org roam wants to keep a local SQLite database with all the information that it scans from your your files. That's not so bad. It's not a big deal. If you only use your notes on one machine, it's totally fine. But if you try to sync your notes between multiple machines, then you have to worry about keeping things up to date. But that's not the only reason. Denote has some interesting qualities in that it has a specific file name structure. In fact, let me just create a Denote note so you can see what I'm talking about. So Control C N O, Denote test Denote test note. So I'm going to use some keywords here. These won't really make a whole lot of sense right now, but they will in a moment. So KT, let's say. Oh, is that not in the list? I changed it. Okay. Anyway, so we have a note here, which has the title that I gave it, the date, as an identifier, sort of like what org roam does. But then you have the file tags here. If you were to look at the actual folder all this is in, you see a file with this naming structure. This is similar to what org roam does, but it's a bit different. So first you have the timestamp when the file was created. Then you have a hyphen, which has special meaning. Then the slug, quote unquote, the slug of the title, which is basically the whole title downcased with dashes between them. And then underscore, then KT. In fact, I probably should have used multiple tags here just to make the point. So let me denote, well, let's do this first. KT, PRA. I don't know. I'll tell you what these tags mean in a minute. So denote, rename, front matter. There we go. Control C N R is my key binding. So if you look back at the DRED listing, the two tags that I have here are KT and PRA. Each tag is prefixed with an underscore, but the list of tags is prefixed with its own underscore. So the title is prefixed with 2 hyphens, and then the tag list is prefixed with 2 underscores. Now, you may be thinking, that looks freaking ugly. Yeah, it does kind of look ugly, but the key here is that it enables you to very easily write a regular expression to filter the files that are in this folder based on the tags and on any other information you want. So there's some interesting qualities here that you can use to your advantage. First of all, obviously you can filter on any tag based on the underscore and then whatever the tag name is. But also if you have tags that have their own sort of prefix semantics, which I will show you that I've kind of come up with here, you can filter based on the prefix of a set of tags or very specific tags. Same thing for the title. If your titles have kind of a way that you prefix all of them, you can very easily use a regular expression to look for hyphen, and then that prefix string to find all notes that start with that title prefix. So you can already see how, oh, and also you could do date ranges using regular expressions. Like if you want to find all the notes that were created in June of this year, you just look for 2024-06 at the very beginning of the file name string. There's a few different things you can use here to use normal, like basically use ls on the command line to search over all the files using wildcards if you want to find certain notes. Or in DRED, you can do regex space operations, or you can use some of the built-in functions that come with Denote to get a listing of all the notes that have certain qualities based on regular expressions. So you don't need to have a database to do queries over all of your notes. You can actually just use normal regular expressions to query over the notes. So long as you have thought in advance about how you want to organize everything to get the most out of this structure. And this is basically what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to come up with a workflow and a model for note taking that uses Denote's features to your advantage. Hello to Fikri. So we'll go through a little bit of this. I'm not going to explain the whole thing to you yet because I still haven't thought through everything, but I will tell you what I've kind of come up with so far. Alternate Vet says, do you use Denote DRED mode in directories? What's that? Denote DRED mode in directories? I haven't seen that. Where is that from? CMAX says, makes me think of ripgrep and FD. Yeah, that kind of thing works as well. All right. So let me go to my show notes. Let me talk about what the tags mean, because I know that the tags seem a little bit wacky. I'm going to go copy those from my .files config. So I've got them in my .files already. You can go check them out if you want to. If you're watching this recording later, they may be different or they may not be there. Who knows? But let's go look at the workflow file. Now, I've got a wacky little set of... Oh, that's why it didn't show up. It's the wrong letter. A wacky little set of prefixes here. I wish I would have copied and pasted what I had from my own notes, but I'm kind of like trying to keep all that separate here. So the PRA, PRB, PRC is project tags. So it's basically marking a file as a project. So PRA is an active project. PRB is a backlogged project, meaning one that is a project, but I'm not really working on it at the moment. And PRC is a completed or closed project, one that has been worked on, but now it's not being worked on anymore for some reason. Maybe in the future at some point it would become an active project again, maybe not. Now, you're probably wondering, why would you want to do this? Well, one very nice thing you can do is you can use this regular expression-based searching that I was talking about to generate your listing of org agenda files based on all of the files that are tagged with PRA. And if you ever change that tag on the file to be PRB or PRC, then it won't show up in your agenda anymore. So you have just a way to include a file in your org agenda list based on what the file tag is. And because we're using this PR syntax here, the PR, let's say, naming convention, you can also look for all project notes, no matter what state they're in, by looking for _PR. So that gives you a couple ways to look for project note files. Now, what I would consider a project note file is not I wouldn't call System Crafters a project. I would call update the homepage of the System Crafters website. I would call that a project because maybe there's certain tasks I have in mind. So it goes back to kind of having it more specific projects in mind, not very vague projects, but like a specific thing that has kind of like a set of tasks to be done and can be completed, like updating the homepage of the System Crafters website. Then that means that you have all the tasks for that project and maybe any notes or information that you need for that project in one place, and that file can live on later, but it doesn't show up in your agenda anymore, and it doesn't show up in some big task list. So one of the things that I have a problem with in my own kind of project management with org mode files is that often I'll have like a file called systemcrafters.org, and it will have a ton of tasks in it, and then half of them will be completed, and I'm like, well, I don't want to have all these just hanging around here anymore, so now I have to figure out where to put those things. So if you use a strategy like this, where each project is its own note file that has a tag that denotes what the project state is, now you can just have that file around, but not even look at it if you don't have to anymore. And because you can use linking between files with the notes, sort of like org Rome, you have the ability to link back to the sort of the larger topic like System Crafters and always get back to that file again in the future. So DieDevX says, how about AG? Yes. I mean, that's not really the point, though. I mean, you could use these things to search over all those files, but that's not the most interesting thing that you would want to do with the naming scheme, in my opinion. Wow. I'm using arrow keys, and it's biting me right now. Okay, so PL is like planning notes. So PLY is yearly, PLM is monthly, PLW is weekly. Okay, so you can have a file that is your planning for the month. You can have a file that's your planning for the year. That all makes sense. However, maybe there is a project that you want to review for your monthly planning or your weekly planning, so you can tag that with PLW to make sure that every time you're doing your weekly planning process, you look for all files that are tagged with PLW, and then you'll find all the notes you need to look at as part of your weekly planning process. So I think that that's another really interesting way to approach planning, but also having all of your notes could be in their own little places or their own little files, and you don't have to like have some really rigid hierarchical structure to maintain all of this. You actually are just sort of picking things out using tags by how you search for them. I don't know if that makes sense, if people are interested in that idea, but I think it's pretty interesting. And once I put together the full explanation and show an example of this, I think it will make a lot more sense. It will be pretty interesting. So the K tags are all like the note kinds. And this is more for notes that are either like ideas or reference material or kind of like writing about specific, very, very specific ideas, writing articles, like if you're trying to write a larger article, or write a video script, or write a course, like in the way that I've got here. So KC would be kind course. There's also like research, I think. So like kind research or reference, let's call it reference, like a reference article, reference book, reference video. So KRV would be reference video. So things like that. All of these K tags are to categorize information. So there's like planning, there's projects for execution of tasks, and then there's like informational notes, which can be sort of various different kinds of information. So this tagging structure would give you the ability to find all of those. None of the tags have anything to do with an actual category like system crafters, video creation, scheme programming, nothing like that. There's a different way to accomplish that, in my opinion. I don't think that you would want to use tags for that purpose, because to me, the whole value of a tag in Denote is that it makes it very easy to find files that serve a particular purpose. So it's all about purpose, not about category, in my opinion. So that's the tag design. Also for note titles. That is a place where you would want to have some kind of context, let's say, for a given note. So that project that I told you about before, I would say System Crafters. A note title for that would be System Crafters : update SE website homepage. And that would be a note, that would be a project. So this would be tagged PRA to be an active project, let's say. Oh man, the arrow keys are killing me right now because I'm being lazy and not using Control F and Control B. So that would be a project that's very specific, but it is aligned to the System Crafters topic, let's say. And you could search for that by using the dash at the front. So let me just make a note for that, and we'll take a look at how this would look in practice. So CNO System Crafters : update SE website home page. We're going to tag that. Oh, yeah, press enter. Tag that as PRA. So now we have a project file effectively. And let's see. I'll make some tasks here. So tasks. Rewrite the whole thing from scratch. Delete all live stream recordings. I don't know. I'm just making things up here. So those are 2 tasks. Now, I've got a command that I use called DW update, or is it refresh? Refresh agenda files. If I were to open my agenda now, Control COAT, non-existent. Yeah, remove it from the list. Remove it from list. So you can see now that those 2 tasks actually do show up here, and I'll show you why. But first I want to mention this whole thing where the Denote files show up with kind of a funky name at the beginning. That's because it uses the file name by default to say what the category of the task is. There is a way to solve this problem, and it is to go into your file and say category. I don't know if I had to do this for org-rome files. Maybe somebody who watched that series remembers, because I haven't seen those videos in forever, so I don't remember what I said in there. System Crafters, I can call that the category here, or you could even call it System Crafters, maybe. Does spaces work, I wonder? Okay, so let's do that again. Control COAT. Yeah, okay, so System Crafters, to do, rewrite the whole thing from scratch. So you can actually see that we are pulling in those tasks from this file. I didn't have to do anything special for that. I just called my own function. If I go to the definition of DW refresh agenda files, you'll see that this is a function that uses a function that comes with Denote called Denote directory files matching regexp. And then I just use that _PRA. And what this does is it looks in my Denote directory, which I configured, where those files live, and looks for any note that has _PRA, which is the syntax for a tag, and then returns that list of files. And then I append that to my list of base agenda files. So I will have like an inbox.org file. Let me find that, inbox.org. Yeah, my base agenda files have inbox.org and schedule.org, which I don't have on this machine. But the idea is that whenever I regenerate that list, I'm going to first get the list of Denote files that match that project active tag, and then I'm going to add my base agenda files to that, and then that's what's going to show up in my agenda view. Cal says, shorter file names? Sure, you could configure that in Denote, but then you're going to lose some of the value of the file naming structure in Denote. So I don't think that I would want to change that. Mike says, so would a KRV be notes about the video or the video itself? The way that I would personally approach that in this model of trying to be as elemental as possible with the notes is that the note about the video would be a link to the video, and then it would be a compendium of, it could be like little snippets of information about the video or what was interesting about the video. But if you're trying to actually digest information, so taking one step backward, one thing that I will do is watch just like an absurd amount of videos on a given topic, and I'm just like jamming information into my head. But I don't actually write notes about any of the videos that I watch, and I feel like I'm losing ideas that I get from the videos, and I never get back to them. So what I would do is, when I watch the video that I want to like actually keep information from, I would make a note tagged as KRV, which is a kind reference video, link to the video there. I would start writing the notes that I wanted to capture that come up, basically the ideas that come up for me or information that comes up for me as while I'm watching that video. But then after I'm finished writing up the notes, I would try to take those notes and make them into their own piece of information, their own separate notes. And the reason why you would want to do that is because you want to make those things live on their own. Now that's your own knowledge, your own idea that you got by watching a video. Maybe it's information that you want to save. Maybe it's an idea that you had for something you want to do. Break that off into a separate file, but then link that file back into the video where the idea came from. So you have that file that's probably going to have a little bit of text and maybe some links to other notes that are inspired by that video. That way, you would be able to have it both ways. You don't have one big note file that has a bunch of stuff in it that you never go back to, because I would never go back to look at the notes for a specific video, but I would go back to look at notes about a very specific idea that I'm looking for. So I think the idea is to take the information you get from that, make their own notes, and then be able to link that to other things in your system to build a useful network of information. Cal says it was a speculation as to why you've chosen 3-letter shorthands for tags. Yes, file name length, but also it's easier to do prefix searching if you have shorter tags that have a very specific structure. So PR is project, and then the letter after is sort of like the state of the project. If I were to say project A or project active or whatever, that's so long to encode the same information. And me, the person, doesn't need to read that in the file name. What I want is the code to read that and then to make listings of files for me and do something useful with it. So part of what I want to do today, and I really didn't mean to like go and explain this whole thing, but it made sense to explain a little bit, but I want to try to add some functionality to Denote if possible, so that when you see the tag listing, if I were to create a new file, so let's say Denote, what else could I say? Let's make the System Crafters Hub topic. I'm gonna create a new title. In this listing, the new file keywords, what I would really like to see is marginalia style annotations on each of these that give the actual description of what this tag means. Because if you're going to be using short tags like this, you're probably going to forget what they mean, because they're not meant for you. They're meant for the code to deal with. So if we could add marginalia style annotations to each of the tags here, that would help a lot. I don't know if the annotations are searchable, like if you type in project, if it would actually show project, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is just knowing what you're looking at. So we'll try that out a little bit. I might actually, I like Peter's suggestion, prot equals project off topic. Yes, that would actually work pretty well, but it doesn't really, I don't think it would make prot very happy. So that's one thing we could try too. I forgot to add it to the list, I think. Let me say KT though, because that is a topic note. wait, what? Oh, snap. So I just created an extra note for no good reason. I want to rename this. Let me just rename this by, this is one thing I like about Denote. It uses its specific file naming structure. However, if you go and change the front matter information, like if I want to just take this thing off at the beginning of this file, I can save the file and then I can use Denote rename file using front matter. And then it will say, oh, do you want to rename this file from this one with the wrong title to the file with the right title? And I'll just say yes, and it renames it for me and changes the buffer. So that does make things a bit easier. You don't have to go manually rename files in many cases. Now, if you change the title of a note, it doesn't go back through all of your other notes and change the text of a link to that note. But that's not really a big problem, in my opinion. It's more of just a, an annoyance at times. So now we've got a topic note and we've got a project note. I could go here and just drop that in as a link, maybe. So I'm thinking about the syntax where it could be useful to say like cross ref colon, and then I'm going to insert a link. There's a command in Denote for inserting a link to another note. So Denote insert link. Which one am I actually using? So Control C in Control H. I'm using link or create. That can be kind of useful sometimes if you want to create a new note if it doesn't exist. But we're just going to use a normal, C and L. Okay. I'm going to link to the System Crafters KT note because that's the topic note. And then now we have a link to that note. If we were to go into the System Crafters note, now I think we should be able to say Denote insert. What is it? Backlinks. Yeah, we can see that the Update SE website homepage note links to this. But there's actually something more interesting that you can do, which is something I learned about recently, which is use a feature of org called dynamic blocks to generate the listing of files, or kind of generate anything really. I haven't looked into what dynamic blocks do aside from what Denote does, but it does make it possible to get a listing in the file itself of the things that are related. So let me find the syntax for this because I don't actually have it locally. Let's see. So Denote links. Okay, that's it. I found it. All right, so here, check this out. Begin colon Denote dash links regexp, and I'm gonna say dash system dash crafters, and I think that's it. I don't need to say anything else because what I want is any file that has that system crafters at the very beginning of the note name. So if I do that, and then I go down here and say end colon, I can use Control C, and then that will give me, it will automatically insert any links to any files in your notes that match that regular expression criteria. So in this case, it's inserting anything that's not this note itself, which is good because you don't necessarily want this note to show up in there. But if I had other notes that started with system crafters colon, they would all show up here. So anything relating to a particular topic, so long as you so long as you use that prefix on all those notes, would show up here. Now you're probably thinking, well, I don't want to have to go type in that topic prefix every single time that I create a note related to that topic. We're going to try to solve that problem. Let me check out the chat really quick though. Fade says make each tag an A-list. Yes, that's exactly what I would do, but Denote needs to support that because if Denote supports it, then making it an A-list totally makes sense. Julian says, what is the advantage of using Denote links over normal org mode links? The fact that it can find its own backlinks. I don't know if it keeps its own index of IDs or if it can just find them in the files, but maybe it's using regular expressions to look for that Denote colon and then the note ID to do backlinks. So that whole Denote backlinks buffer that we saw, I think that's it's able to generate this listing because of using the Denote links. If you use a normal org link, I don't think it works. Okay, so like I said, what I want to do is try to come up with a function, and I'll try to write this in the in the file. So I have a listing here, create topic entries, which is what I want to do right now. Create an entry of a certain kind with a starter template, prompt for topic. Okay, we can look at that later. Then extract subtree to new note. Yep, that's good. Some approach for templating D blocks. Okay, yeah. Well, there's one more thing. What was it that I thought about? Maybe it'll come back to me. All right, so the thing I wanted to do this time was create topic entries. Okay, so workflow customizations. We're just gonna create a little Emacs Lisp block here and pop it open in the org special and do that. All right, defun my slash denote create topic note. This is gonna be an interactive function or interactive command, let's say. Like I said before, I want to use this denote regex, what was it called? Yes, denote directory files matching regex. I'm gonna go back into my file here. Maybe I can do a let on this. So let, I might need to do this in the interactive block. Let me think about this for a minute because it's been a little while since I made like a listing, but we'll start with this first. So let topic files, and we're gonna match the underscore KT because that's our topic file. So the topic files are sort of the hub files like system crafters, etc. They're kind of like a larger topic that we want to create notes and attach them to. So we're going to get that list of topic files. Then I think I want to do like completing read. All right, so maybe I can do a completing read here. I'm sure there's a better way to do this with the interactive prompt, but we'll get back to that. Selected topic would be completing read. The prompt would be select topic. I think that's how you would do that. And the collection would be topic files. All right. So now that we have that, I'll just do like a little message. Selected topic. And then we'll call that done. Let's try to run that. My denote create topic note. Okay, so it's not getting the title yet. We need to fix that. Denote test actually is marked KT, which is wrong, but we'll go back and fix that later. So if I want to get the title of each of these notes, probably what I want to do is a map car in Emacs Lisp parlance. Apply function to each element of sequence and make a list of the results. So I want to turn this into an A list. So I will, do I need to do that? Maybe, okay. So I will say mapcar, lambda, file. And we're gonna do two things. We're gonna say const. I'll const the actual, ooh, no, not that. Let's drop this down here, right there, right there. We're gonna const the file with, there's a function in denote, denote title, retrieve title value. There's something else. Retrieve file name title. So extract denote title component. Oh, that's not even the right one either because I think it returns something else. Let's try that out and we'll just see what it looks like. So denote retrieve file name title on that file, and that should do it. Okay. Are we good to go? I think we're missing a close paren right here. All right, so I'm gonna eval that and then I'll go and run, oh, mapcar, I screwed that up. Like that, let's put that there, re-eval, and then create topic note. So I'm not showing the names yet. And on completing read, I probably need to filter those down. Is there a way for completing read to pull the display string? Predicate require match. Maybe what I need to do, I don't really like that very much, but this is what we'll do. Can I delete this? I need to switch the order of these things. I want to pull the file name title to be the thing that comes out. And for topic files here, I'm gonna have to do another map car on this, which is kind of inefficient. Probably not the best way to do this. Topic, well, let's just call it file again, whatever. We'll map car over topic files, right? That should work. Is that done now? That seems good. So I just need to close this out, okay. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna run that command again. Symbols value as, oh, I'm trying to write scheme code here, folks. Okay. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to spell it out, aren't we? Lambda. See, this is why I like scheme, because you can do things like that. I think it's the preferred way to approach things, but that's my opinion. Let's see, file pair, file pair. All right. Does that work, Cal? If it does, that'd be great. Let's see. Okay, it worked good. Okay, cool. So you see that now that we have system crafters and denote test node. Obviously, that's not the right title that we want. We need the right function. What I can do is go look at the denote code, because I did find something for this. So if I go into the denote code for this file, where that function's defined, let's see, retrieve file name. Oh, front matter. That's the one. Front matter title line. Okay, retrieve front matter title. Front matter title line. All right, let's go back here. So we're going to be in this file. So let's delete that. Front matter title line. Is that what it says? Let's try it again. Wrong number of arguments. Oh yeah, I got to do the file type. Is that just the file extension? What? Does that expect a symbol? Let's go back to denote.el. String match front matter title line, file type, title key regular expression, file type. Denote file types. Okay. Ooh. So that is a symbol. Let's say org then. Okay. Oh no. Now I have the whole title thing. I don't want the title line. I want the value. Front matter title value. Okay. There it is. System crafters denote test nodes. Now we've extracted that information. Let me just check the chat real quick. Okay, we're all good. Good. All right, so we've got the topic. Selected topic is system crafters. I think I could also do this now. What was it? A-list get? A-list get. Find the first element of A-list whose car equals key. Does it return a pair? Return its cooter. Okay, cool. And what was the first key A-list? So selected topic. Well, let's just take that. Select topic. And the list would then be the topic files. I think that's really what I want though. But no, I don't want that just yet. Okay, let's just stick with selected topic. The whole point is we're trying to create a note that has that topic as a prefix. So selected topic. Now, Fade says taking the cooter of an A list returns the value itself and not a cons. Taking the cooter of an A list pair, unless you mean A list get. Okay, so now we need to try to create a denote note. So denote. I don't think you want to use the interactive version of this, though, for interactively creating a note. The Denote manual, I think, has something about programmatic. Yes, Fade. Coder of a pair returns the right side value. All right, so let's see. So I saw this in here. Creating notes. Man, let's go to the table of contents because I've forgotten where this is in here. There's something about calling functions to create notes. Rename a single file based on its front matter. Linking notes. Okay, there we go. Create a new note in any directory. Well, let's just check that out real quick. My Denote create note. Okay, call interactively. Cool. So you can pre-fill some of the things, I think. Prompt. The Denote prompts option. Value of this user options list of symbols. Okay, fine. I gotta go back to where I was now. So Denote directory. Excuse me. I guess I just need to call it directly, right? So Denote optional title keywords. If you don't, okay, when called interactively, the metadata file name are prompted. When called from Lisp, all arguments are optional. Title is a string or function returning a string. I do want it to prompt though. I just want to prefix the string that the user enters in this case. And one thing that I wish was different about Denote was is that it would be nice if this list wasn't just symbols, if you could actually pass in a function to be called to handle the prompting, but I'm not exactly sure how that would shake out in setting specific fields that need to be set on a new note. Let me check Denote.el though, because that might give me some clues. LD says, where do I even start with Guile? You should check out my course that's starting tomorrow. Go to systemcrackers.net and take a look at the link that's at the front page. Arnaud says, do you think it's worth switching from org Rome to Denote now? If you are getting a lot of value out of org Rome, I don't really see any reason to switch. I switched because I was sort of fascinated by the file naming scheme because I knew that I could do things like this if I wanted to. But I think as many of these things go with system crafting or developing Emacs configuration, there are many ways to do the same thing. And whatever is the most interesting and practical for you is the best. So if org Rome is the most interesting and practical, you should just use org Rome. I cannot resist the idea of hacking on something, so often I will do this sort of thing for fun, and it does end up being fairly useful, I guess. Okay. Alice says, I really like not having a DB attached. Faye says, being able to query the SQLite database in Rome is pretty cool. Yes, you can definitely do some stuff with the database in Rome, but I'll be honest with you, I do not like dealing with databases. I don't want to have to do SQL queries, even though they're not hard. For some reason, I just don't like it. I don't want to have to deal with databases. Just let me, scan over files. I just want to be left alone in my little hut on the mountainside. I'm not referring to pride in this case, but I guess the analogy is apropos. I just want to be left alone to play with my files in peace without a database getting in between, But that's just me. It doesn't have to be you. So, Denote, let's see, defun Denote space. There it is. Let's see where it puts this info. Okay, so denote title prompt. Alternate ves says, but databases are cool. They're not cool to me. They have their value. And I'm not saying I will never use a database, because if you are making a website that needs to store information, you kind of need a database, even if it's just a SQLite database. But other than that, I try to avoid them. This is why I avoid back-end web development work in many cases, because I don't want to have to deal with databases. Okay, cool. Initial title prompt text. Prompt for the title string with optional initial title. Use it as the initial mini buffer text. Excuse me. With optional prompt text, use it in the mini buffer instead. So I think I could probably just call this myself. How about that? Let's try that. I'm gonna go back into my own. Now, which one was that? Denote title prompt. Let's go back into my little org buffer here. And I'll call, yeah, that sucks a little bit. But maybe we don't need this to be too specific. Mike says, where do the wife and kids fit into this hermit plan? I'm speaking metaphorically here. You know, they're all here. I'm not living in a hut in the mountains. I'm living near a mountain, but not in a mountain. But I might as well be living on a mountain because I don't get out of the house enough to be considered a proper member of society. Call interactively. So this is all my social interaction for the week, people. Like me just talking to you. I'm looking at a camera. I don't see any of your faces. I just see words showing up on a screen. So the extent to my humanity is just this Friday 2-hour window where I'm talking to you right now. So what you're seeing is the de-evolution of a person into a kind of a loose sack of meat and bones, just to spend all my time working on Emacs and Geeks configurations. Sorry, there I go again with all the grandiosity. We're not going to use call interactively. We're going to call denote directly and use denote title prompt. And then the initial title, I'm going to use the format. CMAX says, would it help to speak in gaga goo-goos? I don't really think that's going to work out too well for keeping viewers entertained and interested. Though I suppose that this stream isn't either. Deemer says, yikes, say it ain't so. Nah, I'm just joking around here, man. I'm just trying to, like, you know, say some funny stuff. I should be eating more? No, I think I eat enough. So, format is going to be colon space. I want to start it off with the selected topic that we have here. Selected topic. I think that works. Am I tripping? Format S. Ooh. Okay, that works. Good. So I'm going to say denote and denote title prompt. I'm not going to do any of the other stuff just yet because I have an idea for how I want to deal with this. So let's just delete that. Okay. I think this is, no, it's not properly balanced. What am I missing? Just the ending paren here. Okay. Great topic note. Select topic, system crafters. Okay, so it did work. New file title, system crafters colon. So it did insert that at the beginning so I could just finish typing whatever I want. That's an improvement because you don't have to type the topic yourself. You select a topic, it pre-fills the title for you, which is kind of cool. So system crafters, let's see, record, denote workflow video. So this is going to immediately create this without any file tags, which is not exactly what we want. So we're going to have to fill in some other stuff. Let's go here to the denote function. So keywords is the second parameter to this. File type, subdirectory, date, template, signature. So keywords is really the only other thing I care about here. And I'm guessing there is a denote keywords prompt right there. Okay. And what does it have in it? Optional prompt text initial keywords. I can go ahead and pre-populate that with a KT. No, sorry, not KT. Well, yeah, I can pre-populate it with the list of the subset of the tags that relate to note kinds, because you're trying to create something new. that relates to a topic. I guess maybe I should just do all the keywords. Let me not be prescriptive on that. I'll just say denote keywords prompt, okay? So let's try that again. I'm gonna go and delete that file I just created. So this one right here, I'll just go ahead and delete that in Dired, and I'll kill the buffer. So we'll try that again. Create topic note. We're gonna select the System Crafters topic. I already have this record denote workflow video here, so I'll press enter. And then I'm gonna say well, let's say KV. Okay, so now we have a new note, System Crafters : record denote workflow video, tagged as KV, which is I would say it's like a video project, maybe. Maybe it's not the right way to do this. Actually, this is probably a project instead. So I could change this right now. I could just say PRA, and then use that rename with front matter, and then that will change that tag. And then if I go back into my System Crafters topic note, and I use Control-C in this block, now the new note will show up here. And you're probably thinking, I don't want to have to go back into the topic file and then run Control-C in this file every time I create something new. And my suggestion on that is don't do that. There are probably two ways you could approach it. One is to have a command that can walk over all of your notes files and then automatically re-execute all these blocks, which would require a fair amount of code probably to do that. The other is anytime you open one of these files, if it has any denote links blocks, it automatically re-updates those. So there's a couple ways you could probably do that. Don't know if I'll try that on this stream if we end up having time for it, but that is something you could do to not have to go and update these. Really, the only time you want to update these blocks manually would be when you go into the file and you're like, okay, I want to see what all the notes are that are linked from this topic, and you would go and update this block with Control-C, and then you'll get the updated list. So I don't think it's something that you need to really painstakingly keep up to date. It's sort of like an on-demand thing, in my opinion. So we did knock out one of these. That was the, let's see. Create topic entries. Okay, so we got that. Now, there's one last thing I kind of want to do on this. Add category automatically. So after the note gets created, org category, there's get category. I guess what I could do is try to go to the end of the header lines. What do they call those? There's something like keywords. Org keyword. Collect keywords. Set. No. Remove keyword keys. Org mode. Add a keyword to top of file. I don't know. Is there a command for this? I don't think there is a command for it. If we were to automate this, I guess what you would want to do is go to the end of any lines at the beginning of the file that start with, you can't see it right now because I think it's because I'm using org appear. No, it must be because I'm using org modern. Yeah, okay, so if you turn off org modern mode, you see the hash plus at the beginning of the lines. So what you would want to do is search for the first line that does not start with hash plus and then insert something there. So what can I do for that? So there is search forward. Whoops. Let's do this. Search forward regexp. Search forward regexp. Is that the actual name? It's research forward. That's the right name. Research forward. And is there an, let's see, research forward. This is the way to test things out. Research forward. So hash plus, does that work? What did I just do? Oh, right. Let's turn that off one more time. So research forward, research forward. Okay, there we go. So I want to find a line that doesn't start with that. So I kind of need to be a little bit more specific. I need to say this needs to be at the beginning of the line. Where's the caret? There's the caret. Okay, so that's still working. And then I want to say it's the first line that doesn't have that. So, Emacs regular expression negative? What do you call it? Exclude. Well, let's see. Get out of here. Okay, is that it? You have to do a group basically and negate it? Let's see. Search failed, so that's not exactly right. Maybe RX would be helpful. Maybe. So maybe this is more complicated than I think it is. Not exactly what I thought it would be. Let's see. Emacs regex's frowny face. Yeah. How to say not a bracket. What is that? Oh, exclude characters from a clasp. Clasp. So it has to be in one of those character class things, I think. They're for matching things, not matching things that aren't there, blah, 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 blah. Use buffer movements and checking for presence of a regular. Oh, you know, that's actually not a bad idea. Maybe it's much simpler than that. So if I were to say, what is it? Buffer, is there like a buffer line? No. Buffer substring. Buffer substring. So buffer substring, no properties. Yeah. Buffer sub, point line. Okay, point at beginning of line, point at end of line. Okay, so that's what we need. So buffer substring, no properties. I'm kind of wasting time on this. Let me not really spend too much time on it. Buffer substring, no properties, point at beginning of line. Can I do that like +2? What does that actually return at this point? So this may not work. Okay. So how did it return BU? Oh, it's in this, okay. That makes sense. Can you stop doing what you're doing? So we can tell what the first two characters of the line are. All right. A little bit of hacky, but it is possible, I think. So, and there must be a function for this somewhere already. My, I'm writing scheme, defund. My denote insert category So category, pull this into a special buffer. Category. So I'm gonna do a little loop here. I have to remember how to do loops in Emacs Lisp because I'm thinking of recursive loops and scheme all the time. Hello to Urnab. Urnab? Barney? I don't know. What's your name? Let me copy what I had done here. Let's just take that, and then we'll go up to that location, paste this in. What we want to do is say if string equal, is that from? Okay, so that's a legitimate function. It's not something that's in another library. String equal plus, yeah, hash plus. What the? There we go. That's ugly, but that will do. Now, I need to loop. Emacs Lisp loop. You'd think I would remember this after I made yes, while true or false test. Looping with while. So while not. You'd think I would remember this stuff, right? Well, I don't. CL loop, maybe. All right, so while, no. Yeah, actually, I don't want the not. I want this to be while it is equal to that because I want it to move to the next line, okay? Beginning. Beginning of, oh, it's point min. What is it? I forgot how to set the point. Emacs set point in buffer. Point in mark. Point returns the current position. Set point. I don't know. That's not really what I want to use, is it? Beginning. There we go. Beginning of buffer. That's an interactive function. I think it should work. Beginning of buffer. Let's try it. Okay. Well, that's the beginning of this buffer, so that's fine. So every time we go through this, we're going to say next line. Is that right? Yep. Okay. So we're doing this the caveman way. Now, after we find a line that doesn't actually have this anymore, we can insert the arguments. Yes, insert format. This is going to be horrible, but that's fine. Category. Actually, I don't need the format. I can just use args for that. So category, and save buffer. So this can be broken, but that's okay. Let's just see what happens. Probably also want to do a save excursion when I'm doing this. Is that a macro? Save excursion. Okay, save excursion body. Because I want to send the point back where it was before I start this whole process of looping through the buffer. All right, and then the save excursion is here, and we close out the whole thing. Now, if I go into, let's see, this file, I can start off with my cursor somewhere random and call my Denote, insert category, system crafters, and args out of range. Let's see, buffer substring no properties. Huh. Oh. Probably. Denote stuff cool, Benoit says. Hey, Benoit. Point max. Let's see. So we're gonna do it this way. And point So while point is less than point max, I think that's what we want. Unbalanced parentheses, fine. I need to add another paren here, I think. Let's go back into this file. I'll try to eval that again. Boom, there it is. Category system crafters. Let's do it again. Because it's going to add the same thing again. That's fine. I don't really care too much about that. More than one is not a problem. So now, let's go into this function and do the same thing. After we create the file with Denote, then we can say my Denote, insert category, selected topic. And then once we create the note, in fact, we can try a new one here. Let's Denote create topic note. I'll pick system crafters as a topic. Let's see what else. Review chapter 1 exercises. I'm going to call that a PRA. It's an active project. Maybe it's backlog projects. It's not really time for that yet. Oh, what does flash by? Args out of range. 146, 148. Oh, I think that's what I need to say less than or equal to. No. That should have worked, right? So if point is less than point max. Anyway, I think maybe this is not a good use of time. Bait says, where do you usually store these personal eLisp extensions? In one of my module files in my Emacs config. So let's shelve that one for now because we're gonna run out of time, I think, if I keep trying to hack on that. Maybe we'll come back to it. But I want to make sure that at least I can do that for my own purposes at some point. Okay, what else did I say I wanted to do? I wanted to create an entry of a certain kind with a starter template. Okay, so that does make sense. What is the key binding for this? Control CXB? Yeah, CXB. I always forget these. Extract subtree to new note and create link. That one's actually a little bit more interesting, and I'll tell you why. So let's say you're writing a note. Let's see, create topic note. We'll create a system crafters note again. Ideas for new videos. And that's just gonna be what did I forgot what the thing was for this. See, this is why I need the stuff over on the side here, so I remember what these these tags are for. Let's say KL. I don't remember what KL is for. All right, so let's say I'm writing some notes down. So let's see, video about using Avi, or let's say Avi ninja movement video. And then maybe I want to have some notes about, you know, what I'm going to do in this video. What other video? Like I guess what my process would be a lot of times is I would create a new note just to brain dump a lot of stuff in one place and not really think too much about what I'm going to do with the information. And then I would want to move those pieces somewhere else. So ideas for new videos. Let's see, do Emacs from scratch, Ep1 over again. Something like that. Foo, bar, Oz, whatever. So what I would like to do is take one of these headings and move it to its own note so that I can refer back to that separately later and maybe add more notes to it specifically. These are not very good examples. There's other examples that I had thought of when I was working on this stuff myself this week, but right now I'm kind of blanking on what those were. So there is a useful function in Denote for this. Denote org subtree. Yeah, org denote extras extract org subtree. This is a function that can take the current subtree and then create a new note from it. Remove the subtree from its current file and move its contents into a new Denote file. Now, what does the definition of this say? It has no parameters, first of all. So is there any way that we can customize this? If If none of these are true in the user option, or denote prompts includes an entry for keywords and prompt for keywords. Else do not include any keywords. Okay, so I want to include keywords. Date prompt use org read date. Let's see, consult the value of the user option to denote prompts. Okay, and what does it do? Or get entry, get heading, prompts. Okay, so it's prompting here when not tags. Or get tags. I don't really want it to use the same tags though, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. Okay, denote heading tags. There it is right there. So this is a direct call to denote at that location. And we don't really have any way to customize what's being passed into denote. So we can't do any prefixing, which is one thing I would want to do. I would want to take the category of the current file and then prefix the new file with the same category in many cases. I mean, this whole like file title prefixing issue complicates things a lot, and it requires a lot more extra code, I think, to maintain this strategy. So me thinking as a person who wants to explain this model to people, I'm trying to balance the proposed feature set and the proposed workflow with how much extra code you're going to have to write to make this work. Because if it's a lot of extra code, then kind of needs to be a package, and then that would basically be me writing my own package and telling you how to use that package, which is kind of a valid possibility, but I don't like doing that. I would rather tell you like how to use what's already there to do it yourself. So at some point I'm gonna have to decide what are the most important features that give the most value, and then also not complicate things too much. So I'm already sort of seeing how this might complicate things a little bit too much, but you know, that's for me to figure out. I'm certainly interested to hear feedback on that though. I guess, excuse me, many people probably would be interested to see writing more Emacs Lisp code and explaining how it all works. So if people do want to see that, then I can go a little bit more in depth whenever I explain all this stuff in a video later. Okay, so back to what I was saying. This doesn't give us the ability. It will actually extract the heading and put it into a new node, but it won't let us customize what happens. So we would effectively have to copy this entire function to customize its behavior, which personally I would want to do anyway, because I don't like the fact that it's extracting the tags from the current file and using those by default. I would prefer to specify my own tags, I think. But that's just my own workflow, so. So let's see, is there anything I can salvage from this? Or should I just make my own function that's simpler? Because there's some of this stuff here, like I would want to extract the heading. What does that actually give me? Denote link OL get heading. Where does this come from? Oh, okay, denote. Get current org heading text. Okay. I wouldn't use tags. I wouldn't use the heading date or the subdirectory or the signature. So some of these things can just go away, I think. CodeSpace says, love your Emacs tutorial. Use it to set up EXWM. Hey, that's great. Awesome. Glad to hear that. All right, so let's see. A lot of this can be dispensed with. I think the delete region and the creation of the note and the insertion of the text are the key elements. So should we just copy and paste this and do it ourselves? I mean, it's certainly possible. Do list, prompt, denote prompts, pcase prompt. When not tags, set tags, keywords prompt, date, signature, okay. So It's a nice, a nicely written function. It has, good error checking and stuff. So, I mean, it's not bad by any means. Let's go back to this file. I could probably pull back in here, drop this code in. I'm gonna create a new function called my denote extract subtree. And make that interactive. So then org get entry. That's the current entry text. Okay, we're getting the heading too. I don't care about the tags and everything else or the prompts. So I'll delete everything up to about right here. Whoops. And I'll get rid of the error as well. Now, when I create this, I do need to prompt for the tags. The heading, I also probably need to select the category, but I don't want to do that at the moment. Let's get rid of the rest of this stuff. We don't need all the rest of those things, but we do need the keywords. So we're going to denote prompt, sorry, keyword prompt. Then we can pull that org back up here. I don't think we really need that because org is the default node type anyway, but maybe if you just want to be, sure, then it's good to have it. Okay, denote extract subtree. Now let's go back to that org file that I was writing. I can go grab this one, denote, let's see, my denote, DW note, denote extract subtree. It didn't prompt me for keywords. Let's see if it actually created that note. It did not seem to do that either. Interesting that that didn't work. At least I can pull that text back in. Okay, ideas for new videos. Let me see what could have gone wrong. If this doesn't work in like 2 minutes, I'm going to move to the last thing, which is trying to get that metadata showing up in the annotation showing up in the mini buffer for prompting. Ghostspace says, how are you getting the key presses at the top of the screen? That is a package called KeyCast, and it has the KeyCast tab bar mode that you can turn on to get those to show up there. So we did manage to delete the region. The note heading tags. Oh, did I? Where's heading? Heading. Okay. Go back here. We'll go back into the file. Okay, so let me just. So org get entry returns that whole body. And then denote link ol get heading returns the heading itself. So we got text and heading. We create a new note with heading. And then denote keywords prompt, which it didn't actually do, surprisingly. This is an interactive command, so I don't know why it didn't do that, unless I ran it wrong. Extract subtree. Did it create a new buffer that I just didn't see? No, it doesn't seem so. Title keywords. Denote keywords prompt. Okay, so that worked. Heading is not bound. Oh, am I still inside of this? Ooh. Oh, the if-let. I don't like if-let. I think I need to have a begin here or something, don't I? Let's do that. I think that must be what's happening, actually. Yeah. No matching paren. Is that the one? Matches defun. Okay. This should work. Excuse me. This should work. Let's go ahead and do this. Extract subtree. Ah, begin. I'm writing scheme again. Stop me. Prog in. There we go. Keywords. What was that? KV, let's call it. Whatever. Okay, now it created a new Avi Ninja movement video with a tag KV and the contents that we had. The thing that I wanted to do, though, was to then go back to the original buffer and insert a link to that buffer inside, but I don't think that I don't think we're gonna get to that. Let me do something else instead. So it is obvious that you can do that work. There's a save excursion here. I probably want to save excursion outside of all this so I can go back to the original file. So I would say like save excursion. And let's do that. I'm curious if this is going to work. Let's go back into the original file and we're just going to create another one exactly like it. It doesn't really matter too much. I'll undo that delete. Let's see if it drops us back in the same file again, because if it does, we might be able to do something interesting. KV. Nope, didn't work. So it just left us in the denote buffer. I might have to manually switch back. Okay, that's fine. We can call that one okay for now. Yeah, you have to install it. It does not come with Emacs, the KeyCast package. All right, last thing. Let me see how marginalia works. So Emacs marginalia. Save the window configuration to register, then pop back. Is that a good thing to do in Emacs Lisp code, though? It seems like it might be a little bit hacky. I'm not really sure. So information shown by the annotators. Classify by prompt. Classifier checks the mini buffer prompt that gets regex. Oh, interesting. To determine a category. The following is already included, but would be a way to assign the category face to all candidates from commands with prompts that include the word face. Classify by command name, that would probably work. So marginalia, classify by command name. Let's see, look up category for current command. Let's see, command marginalia. Okay, this is an A list, command categories. So iMenu, recent F open, where is? There must be other ways to do this though. Specify an annotation function or an affixation function, avoiding the marginalia dependency this way. In the eLisp manual, okay. Well, where is it? All right, it's in the eLisp manual. Let's go look at info mode. So info, Emacs Lisp, eLisp. There you go. Now, what is it? Control H R. I want to look for Control H R and I've forgotten all the goodies. Okay, here it is. Node and what am I looking for? Programming. No, there's no index for programming index. Command index. All right. Completing read. Annotation function, affixation function are documented in the eLisp manual. Well, you know, it doesn't really tell me that. Display completion list completions. Second string, first of two. Okay, list of two strings, which is printed as if the strings were concatenated. First of the two strings is the actual completion. The second string serves as an annotation. So if we go into Denote keywords prompt, what does it use? Completing read multiple. So if I were to go to the definition of that, what is it? Okay, completing read multiple. Completing read multiple. There we go. Completion extra properties. Variables used to specify extra properties of the current completion command is intended to be let bound by specialized completion commands. Its value. Oh, okay. Value should be a function to add annotations in the completions buffer. Function must accept one argument, a completion, and should either return nil or a string. So, maybe what we can do. Let's give this a shot. I'm going to go back into my org file right here. Define, let's see, my denote keyword prompt. I can make my own version of this, which actually you could probably use advice for this, which is a little bit dirty. I guess the better thing to do would be to update Denote to support this in the box, but since we don't have the time to do that right now, we can do this instead. My keyword prompt, we'll say let, and this is completion extra properties, which appears to be a plist. Yeah, okay, it's a plist. So if I want to do this, I can say annotation. Maybe I want to make this an actual list so that I don't have to worry about quoting, unquoting, etc. Annotation function. Completion. Let me make a little a list here too. So defun, let's say defvar, my denote keyword. Let's call it my denote keywords. Yeah. So we'll just add a few of them in here. So PRA is active project. So is that gonna be right? Yeah. Okay. And PRB. Backlog project. And then PRC is closed project. Let's just start with those. Closed project. So now we have a lambda. Oh, I need to eval that first. We have a lambda that can, and I hope that actually works. Yeah, okay. And it returns nil or a string to be displayed next to the completion. So a list get my denote keywords. The a list is the second parameter. The first is the completion. And then we will wrap a call to denote keywords prompt. And also I want to, is denote keywords prompt actually an interactive function? No, it does not seem to be. Okay, so I don't have to do that either. My denote keyword prompt. Okay, so it does not seem to be working yet. I need to get a little bit of information about completion extra properties. Where else is that getting used? Completion options. Extra properties of the current completion command intended to be let bound. Property list of extra properties of the current completion job category. Annotation function. Can access completion data. Okay. Prepend, append a prefix suffix to completions. Ooh, okay. That might actually be pretty useful too for making it searchable. Yes, actually, I would probably use that too. Annotation function. Let's just see if it's getting called at all. Message, find annotation S, and that would be for completion. I don't know if it's actually working or not. So now we'll call that again. The my denote keyword prompt. Oh, I do see find annotation here, so it is doing that. A list get. So if I were to call a list get. PRA from my denote keywords, it returns nil. That's interesting. Why is that the case? Equals key. PRA, PRB. Okay, still returning nil. Okay, so something's weird about this. I'm sure someone can tell me what I'm doing wrong here. So Control HF, A list get. Key A list. My denote keywords is an A list. That's really weird. Oslo says, have you seen D-Slide? Yeah, I've seen D-Slide. It's pretty interesting. I don't know if it will probably slow down my computer with all the sort of changes it's making to buffers all the time to do the animations it does. I don't really need all the animations. It is pretty cool though. Hey, Acid Bong. All right, we only have a couple more minutes. Let's just see if we can get this working. It is getting called. Just for some reason, my my A list is not working the way I expected. I was using an A list somewhere else. Where was that? Oh, I had started using it and then I stopped. So is A list get using some other? Oh. There it is. Equality with key is tested by a test function. I need to change that to string equal. All right, fine. Default remove test function. So let me change that to default will be nil. Remove is what? I'll say nil. And test function is going to be string equal. All right. So let's do that again, and then I will run. My denote keyword prompt. Look at that. I actually do have some annotations here. That doesn't actually make it usable. In fact, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do to make it show up in the right location. Is it like a tab character or something? Do I need to put a tab character in there? Let's call this an affixation function because I want to test that out. Affixation. Accept one argument, a list of, and return a list of annotated completions. Each element of the return list must be a 3-element list, the completion, a prefix string, and a suffix string. This function takes priority over annotation function. Okay, so if I change that, then I need to return 3 things. So this is going to be list completion. Then we're going to do the A list. No. And then we're going to say nil because I don't want... actually, I do want that to be the suffix. So the affixation will be the suffix and the prefix will be nothing, let's say. Unbalanced parens. Probably around here somewhere. Okay. So now if I were to run that again... That doesn't look good. What did I do wrong? Lambda completion, list completion. It says a list, right? 3-element list, the completion, a prefix string, and a suffix string. Do they need to be... Oh, my mistake. Completions. And I need a map car over the list of completions. I need to say lambda completion. And then drop all these in. I know I'm doing this a very dumb way. Forgive me. I'm just trying to get it done because I'm kind of late now. And that should do it. Okay, so now if I were to run denote keyword prompt, hey, again, it's not working. So it says affixation function gets the list of completions and return a list of annotated completions. Did I pass in the completion list? No, I did not. So right here, completions. I missed that part. Come on, man. Let's go. So which part of the left did that close? Yeah, closes the binding. Completion extra properties. Lambda completions, map car, lambda completion, a-list get completion, my denote keywords, nil and nil string equal. That all looks good. Loop. Oh, wait. Yes, that's right. Lambda completions. And completions is the list we're passing into the map car. That should have worked. So if I were to, you know, should I just break that out into a function? Application. All right, let's do it this way. So that we can test it a little bit. So let's do this. Let's do that, this. Peter says, here's where I like to sprinkle some unit tests. Yeah, I agree with you. It would be good to have some unit tests right here. But, you know, when the going gets rough, you just abandon all unit tests. Okay, so my denote custom affixation. Let's see. PRA, PRB, PRC. That's not right. And oh, yes. Okay, fine. Ah. Well, that looks right, doesn't it? Should this be a string? That's so weird. Ah. That's, man. Why could Emacs Lisp not tell me that that happened? There it is. Okay, so I can type in back. Ah, it didn't work, did it? I thought that the affixation actually would make it where I can search over that text, but apparently it doesn't. Ain't that just real cute? Anyway. Completion category overrides, completion style, cycle. Okay, so, I mean, you can see how that would probably turn out to do the right thing in the end if I had had more time to figure it out. But it's a decent starting point, I think. There's got to be some magic sauce to lining up those annotations correctly using marginalia, because if you use like Control-X-F, you can see how all this stuff gets lined up really nicely. I don't know if that's like a tab character being inserted that makes it do that or something else. But yeah, I want it to be searchable. But if it's not searchable, at the very least, being able to see it is pretty nice, to be able to see the annotations on each entry to know what they mean. But searchable would be better, in my opinion. The right way to do this would not be using annotations necessarily. It would probably be to use some customizations to Denote's code to show descriptions for tags. But since probably nobody else does tagging like I'm doing right now, this hasn't been a requirement that has shown up for the project. So if I want that to be done, I may have to submit that myself, which is fine. I can probably do that. Okay, I hope this was interesting and useful to some degree for the people who have been watching all this time. I'm going to be putting the code here in the show notes. I'll just check it in as soon as the stream is done, so you'll have access to this. I'll tell you right now, some of this probably doesn't work, as you saw, so you can't just copy and paste it and hope that it works. You may have to tweak it a little bit yourself, but it should be a good starting point for you to consider coming up with your own model based on what I'm talking about here. And like I said, I'm going to try to flesh all this out and make a video about it the week after next. At least maybe start a new series about, making a full Denote workflow, or at least, the starting phases of it, because I think it's a pretty interesting idea. Anything else to discuss in the chat real quick? First of all, I don't know if Mike is still here, but I do want to say thanks to Mike for becoming a member of the System Crafters Guild during the stream. It showed up. Yeah, there's Mike in the chat. Thanks, Mike, for becoming a member of the guild. Thank you for reminding me to set that up. And that, for those who weren't here earlier when I talked about that, I basically just added some new stuff to the System Crafters store. Some of the merch items that I've been kind of hanging on to for a while, like the hat that I'm wearing right now and some of the other stuff that's here. Go to systemcrafters.store to see that. And then there's the guild, which is basically like GitHub sponsors or Patreon, but I'm trying to centralize things now into one place so that all the stuff that I do, it can be just on one page and you don't have to go like 4 different places to support the channel. So there's a way to become a member here. There's perks listed. That's pretty much it. So you don't have to do that. You can do it if you want to, if you're, motivated to, but otherwise just continue coming back to the streams and saying hello. That's good enough. All right, so thank you all for your time and attention this evening, and leave a note in the comments if you have any thoughts about the stream today or what you saw here on the store, or come find me on IRC or the System Crafters forum, forum.systemcrafters.net. And until next time, well, I hope you have a great weekend and happy hacking. We'll see you.